and you decide to get married. You are marrying the love of your life. This is great, right? And then you check out. You check out. Suddenly, you are noticing everything that you don't like about them. You are not enjoying their presence. You don't want to be in that home. And maybe you are even looking outwards. Maybe you are seeking someone else. All right. And then you will start to say, I'm not happy here. We're not connecting. It's not fun anymore. They're neglecting me. They're abandoning me. And you're uncomfortable. Okay. You come home and you're not the same person that was in that relationship before that long-term commitment. You're someone else. You're serious. You're always frustrated. You're absent even when you're there. There's something wrong. So what's going on here? Now, there are lots of things that could be going on, but I'm going to tell you one thing that might be happening just so that you can reflect on it. I want you to ask yourself, what is this new home that I'm in reminding me of? Is it very similar now after you were married, with this seriousness, with the structure, with this whatever, to when you were a child? Because if you were a kid that felt imprisoned in your home, if your inner child was repressed in your home, if your parents were too controlling, too serious, if there was too much pressure, if anything like that in your home, then guess what? You did not enjoy being in your home. And guess what? You wanted to escape your home. So now you meet this person, this lovely person that's nothing like your parents. At least, you don't realize that they're anything like your parents. You love them, and then you get married to them, and now you have a home. And this idea, just the idea, I don't even know what this person is doing, just the idea that you are now in this long-term relationship, this is your forever home, puts you back to that state that you were when you were a child and you wanted to escape. You feel like you're imprisoned, just like you were imprisoned for maybe like the first 16 years or so of your life. And now, it's not all the lovey-dovey things. Now it's all the grown-up stuff that you have to do to maintain a household, to support each other, to work, to all of these things, which are all the grown-up things, all the adulting things that suffocated you when you were a child, that made your parents, not be their most loving, playful selves with you, if that was your experience. And so I want you to ask you, what did you do when you were young to be able to escape that environment? What were you doing? Because it's very likely that whatever you were doing back then, you end up doing now. So did you, always want to get out of the house? You'll want to do that now. Did you keep yourself super busy with your homework and activities so that you can get away from that environment? Then you might be super focused on work now. Did you develop some kind of addiction or, self-soothing in an unhealthy way? You'll probably do that now. Did you just want to escape to the neighbors because the neighbors, they were so much fun? Their mom, that your friend's mom was so much nicer and she was playing with them and, and she was telling you all of these things that you didn't hear at home, like how smart you are, how cute you are, whatever. Not in an inappropriate way, but just, she was validating you and supportive and encouraging and wow, look how, whatever, it made you feel good, right? This is the problem, because guess what you might end up doing now? Looking for that neighbor. Are you going to be looking for an older person? Maybe, but you might just be looking for that other person that can give you what your mother didn't give you when you were young. And now this person's going to give you what your wife isn't giving you. Now, did you give your wife the chance to give you these things? Probably not. Why is that? Because she's in your home. She's in your wife. She can't do that. You don't have that. And your mother couldn't do that. Or your father couldn't do that. So in your head, as soon as you got married, it's done. You are in prison and you need to escape. And so you do. Just like, were you the rebel when you were young? You're going to be rebelling now. Were you trying to find ways to punish your parents when you were young? And I mean, to be able to acknowledge that and to admit to that, it's going to take you some deep digging, you know? But if you were the kind of person that you kind of wanted to retaliate by doing something to upset your parents, by breaking the rules without them knowing, or maybe you wanted them to know, you wanted to get caught. You wanted to get caught by your parents so that you could tell them, see what you've done? And so now you're doing the same thing, but with your wife or with your husband. This isn't just for men or women. Or were you just wallowing in victim mode? Because you might be doing that now, right? Unfortunately, and that other person is the bad person, not you. But you don't understand that the reason is because you are not the same person. As soon as you entered this long-term relationship, this marriage, you have decided, you've left the fun part, you've left the inner child. You wanted to become that adult because that is the model. Okay, this is serious now. This is a long-term relationship. I need to become like my father. I need to become like my mother, who were what? Who were always, in a bad mood, who were always serious, who were controlling, who were demanding, or, and usually you might have one who is very controlling, very demanding, and the other one who's just submissive, right? So which role are you playing? You end up playing one of these roles because this is what was modeled to you. You don't know anything else. Or are you playing the inner child role, the little boy or little girl's role? You could be playing their role and what they did to be able to escape. And you could be escaping by simply not being present, by just dissociating, by daydreaming all the time. You're not there. You're not connecting. So what do you do about that? Well, first acknowledge, where is this coming from? Is this what's happening? If I'm cheating on my partner, is it really because there's something wrong with my partner and they're not fulfilling my needs and that person is going to be fulfilling my needs? Is it really about that person and my partner? Is this what's happening? Or is it actually just me reliving in this illusion that I am still the child? This partner is my parent that is unable to meet my need. And now, this neighbor or my friend's parents or, my aunt, she's going to come and save me and give me all the love that I needed and I deserved. Because if this is the case, then you're not really seeing the relationship at all. You're not really seeing what's happening in your reality. You are just living in the past. You're living in the past and you're replacing, roles, actors to fill in the roles. So you acknowledge that first, you understand it first, and then you have to tell yourself, I am not my father, and I don't play whatever role he was playing. I am not my mother, and I don't need to play whatever role she was playing. And I am not that little child anymore, because I'm an adult now. And my wife or my husband is not my parent. And I don't need to expect from them to do whatever my parents did or did not do. And that person that I am now, potentially cheating with, they're not my aunt. They're not that neighbor. They're not. So I want you to see that. And then when you see that, ask yourself, where, if I did adopt these beliefs, if I am doing this, then what have I shifted in me to play that role? To play that role of that victimized child, neglected child. What did I give up? Or to play that role of my father. What did I give up? From my personality, from how I'm showing up. What am I not doing anymore? What am I suppressing now? What am I not bringing to the table now? Or what am I bringing too much of that isn't really me in order to fit that role? Because I want you to know something that is really important. You are not how you are showing up right now. You are much more than that. You are much more than that. You have access to many different dimensions of your personality. You can be fun and serious and like a child and like an adult and so many things you can be. But in some relationships, we only bring one side of us. And that side, when we bring it, the other person is responding only to that side, and it forces them to also embrace one side. If you are able to open up yourself, to bring all of your different aspects, all of your different, like your whole self to the table, and you are in balance, then that allows your partner to also be in balance. It might not happen right away. And also you may have attracted to yourself the kind of partner who fit the bill, right? Who was exactly like your father, who was exactly like your mother. You may have done that subconsciously. And it might require a much longer time for them to be able to evolve and to grow, right? But start by changing, working on yourself. Say to yourself, why am I so serious here? Why is it that instantly, as soon as I walk into my front door, I am in a bad mood? Why is it that I'm not laughing? Like I'm at work and I'm laughing and I'm joking and I'm just like my best self and I'm so confident. And as soon as I go home, I'm quiet. As soon as I go home, I'm not really making eye contact. I go straight to my room or to the office to work and I'm hiding, I'm escaping. Why am I doing that? What's this shift? And it's because you're shifting roles. Maybe at work, you're just, you're not limited by that. Just like you could be some version of you at school. And as soon as you go home, when you're in your childhood home, you're someone else. Right? So work on embracing all of the aspects that you have suppressed. There is no need for you to suppress anything. Bring it all to the table. That person that you fell in love with, they fell in love with all of you. Why? Because they fell in love with you outside of your home. You weren't suppressing anything because you were outside. You were free. You didn't have your parents' watchful eyes over you and limiting you. You were free, right? They fell in love with you and you fell out in love with them like on the playground. But then as soon as you got married, now you're in the home. And it's like, it's actually funny because it's like you make a friend at school and they know you as this like really cool, popular, whatever kid. And then you go home and your siblings are bullying you and you're just like really repressed and your parents are yelling at you and you're not the same. You're not the same. You're not showing up the same. So this is actually what happens a lot of times in marriages. So bring that playground personality into your home. You will be forced to be serious and to do all of the adulting things when you are in a relationship. And if you're always avoiding that, which is another thing, are you always avoiding the responsibilities at home? Are you always just like, that's not for me, someone else is going to do it? Because then if you were like that when you were a child, you'll be like that when you're an adult. Maybe you were the youngest. Maybe you're the one that just didn't know how to do anything, so everyone else had to step up. Maybe you're the one where like, there's so much family drama, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to go out with my friends. And then, so this is what you learn. This is what you, now you're married. And in your mind, oh, home is for the drama. I'm just going to leave. Oh, home is for the adulting. Oh, someone else is going to do it. My partner is going to do it, not me. Just some things to think about.